Alright, so we are back. That daily event went as poorly as possible, I think. We won one game, and so I decided to drop from that and just join an 8-man instead, and, hopefully try and win some matches, I guess. So our opponent is on the play on 6 cards, and I think this hand is perfectly reasonable. He stays on 6, which is cool. Rakdos Guildgate, very interesting. Lead things off with a Temple, and it is possible for me to have turn 3 Phoenix with the combination of these 4 cards. So that's cool, but I think with him having Rakdos Guildgate, I don't think that's very likely to happen. So I think I'm just going to keep this on top to make sure that I can hit Phoenix on turn 4. And if it just so happens that, that doesn't work out, or where I don't need the Confluence and I get to play Phoenix on turn 3, I'm also fine with that. It kind of sucks to have an extra land that I don't necessarily need, but I think in this situation we just want to hedge. Especially if I have like 3 guys in play and he's not doing anything, then we're certainly in a pretty good spot, but Thoughtseize kind of messes this up. Now, if he takes my Phoenix and I draw a land, it's not the best situation, I think this is still okay, though, depending on what his deck is doing. I don't know, it feels like mono Black Devotion splashing red, probably Dreadbore Rakdos' return, like that would be my best guess, kind of like what the Channel Fireball guys were playing for a couple GPs. I don't know, it's weird. His hand would have to be really strange for him to not want this Phoenix, I think. It's possible that maybe he just wants to get a demon out there, has another discard spell, and wants to take my 2 Dreadbores or something, but I don't know. Not sure what he's thinking about. Oh wow, he did take a Dreadbore. Okay. So I know what kind of plan he's on. It is strange to see multiple guild gates now that you have like temples and shocklands. Like for example, the black splash green devotion decks generally have like 2 additional sources of their splash colors. So like maybe these are just like both of his guild gates that he drew, or maybe he is a heavier red deck. Saito posted a pretty cool black red deck with like Brand Maggot, Prophetic Flame Speaker when Journey to Nyx came out, and I haven't actually seen like any of those decks, but yeah. So it seems like he's going to take my Dreadbore, and he gets to see what I scryed into, which he's got to be pretty happy about that it's a land. But, okay, we can do some things now. I don't know. It's weird that he's taking my Dreadbores, just letting me do all this stuff when he doesn't have a 3rd land. It's 5/5, okay. See, this card is not bad. I just bite it to a Doomblade, whereas again, Fnatic could have dealt 5 damage because we have a pretty good draw, but like if he Thoughtseized my creatures, for example, and this was a Fnatic, it wouldn't have done anything. So I feel like if he wasn't going after the Dreadbores, then he would want to take the Phoenix, but yeah, I guess he's just going to kill that, and that's fine. And I drew another Dreadbore, which is great. We have a habit of doing that, apparently, just draw whatever they Thoughtseize. So I'm going to add 4 mana from Nykthos, play this Reckoner, and then get in some damage here. And I'll pump it with blue mana. Don't get to do that too often with this deck, so might as well. So he's a 10, I have a removal spell and 3 dudes. It is looking pretty good. Can't help but wonder if his Thoughtseize plan was good. Like, if he just takes, like, Phoenix, or I guess leaves Phoenix because he has price, but if he takes, like, these 2, or if he took Frostburn Weird first, maybe I don't play Burning Tree on turn 2, I don't know. well, regardless, if he has Thoughtseize to removal spells, and then just like ignores the Dreadbores, just tries to play like an Underworld Connections game or something, probably would have been better for him. So drew another Phoenix, which is certainly pretty good. It's like the second or third best card we could have drawn. So he's at 6, facing down 3 guys, yet again. And here's the Demon. Nope. Another downfall. But it appears that he is dead on board. So, unless he's got something crazy, some shocks. But it looks like he just F6'd, so that's good enough for game 1. That Thoughtseize line of his was pretty suspect, I think. So I think I'm just gonna sideboard like how I would against normal mono black decks, except I'm gonna do what I did in the daily event where I'll just keep the Mortars instead of the Searing Bloods. Just because he could be heavy red with Flame Speaker, he could also have Nightveil Spectre, which would be a reason to play all those Guild Gates instead of like a Mountain. I've found that if you have your splash color, you can afford to play like a basic of that and 4 Mutavaults alongside like Lifebane Zombie as your 3-drop, and that's pretty fine. Like, you don't necessarily need to play the Guild Gates that are always black mana if you don't have Nightveil Spectre. So it is pretty reasonable for him to have Nightveil since he has all those Guild Gates. We're a little short on lands. It's alright. You mulligan first game, we can mulligan. It's cool. Keep it fair. His hand's pretty good. Removal for Demon, 2 big things. Pretty weak against Thoughtseize, as is normally the case. Eidolon's a pretty sweet draw. Like, both that it might deal him some damage, but also get a removal spell out of his hand. Make the Phoenix potentially live, but it's also another guy that is almost certainly going to die, and then it comes back with the Cerberus, so that's cool. And now, since I drew Ash Zealot, I'm not sure which one I want to play. He has mana open. It wouldn't be surprising if he had Devour Flesh, so if I just play this and it gets fleshed, then he's not taking any damage. So I think I just want to play the Eidolon here, and then maybe I can get into damage next turn. And I don't know, after that last match we played against Mono Black, I felt like Eidolon was the stronger 2-drop, like the more powerful one. It's going to deal him more damage over the course of the game, but now I'm not so sure. But red mana, Mizzium Mortars, okay. And again, he does not play a 3rd land. That's very unfortunate for him. So he's got a Thoughtseize. But his mana has just been like all kinds of awkward with Guild Gates and Mutavault and stuff. So he takes the Cerberus, which is a pretty common theme. It's a card that's pretty tough to beat. You know, initially I had the Black Splash, and I didn't even have Cerberus in my deck. And I still thought the black was worth it, but even now, like, since I have Cerberus, I started with 2, immediately went up to 3. 4 would not be completely out of the question, you know. And this guy is definitely a really good reason to splash black. So now, I think I'm just going to play my 4 mana thing. Like, Reckoner and Phoenix are kind of interchangeable. They're both, like, pretty big threats. But if he plays a Demon next turn and I draw a land, I can play these 2. So I assume he's going to give me a 5/5. 3/3 haste when he's at 14. That comes back to my hand is pretty unreasonable. So yeah, he's got to try and draw a removal spell if he doesn't have one. So that thing's dead. Still have this Reckoner. That is a good card to scry into. That is exactly what I want to see. Nightfall. Yeah. These are the games I really like playing against Black Devotion decks, where like you get under them a little bit, and you keep playing threats that they keep killing, but you still have this guy that you played on like turn one or turn two that just like keeps dealing them a little bit of damage at a time, and eventually it adds up. And they get so far behind that they don't even have time to develop their board, like play demons. And like, granted, it certainly helped me along that he was a little stuck on lands a few times, and like his lands have been ETBing tapped and stuff. But that was why the Fire Drinker Satyrs were in the sideboard. So that plan is certainly reasonable. But it certainly works out nicely when you have this thing just like chipping away at them when they have to keep killing like every guy that you play, and we're not flooding out or anything. And this is like exactly the type of game you want to be playing against them. And even if things do go wrong, I still have this Dreadbore to handle the demon. So that's my opponent saying some stuff. Just give him the old frowny face. Ooh. Rebuys. Oh man, chaining Cerberus. I've never had that happen before. That is awesome. Just going off. So I think that was basically a concession from him, but still got to play the game. I don't know if he's got something crazy, but if he like anger the gods me or something, take 3 from this, 2 from this, and 2 from this turn. So we'll be pretty dead. He said suicide. That's pretty good. I mean, his other option was not killing it and then just taking lethal damage, so. Oh, he does have anger, so he's got a bunch of red in his deck. Alright, knock you to 1. And it clears out my guys for Cerberus too. That's crazy. Oh, the hammer. It's hammer time. Get him, Frostbird Weird. Bang. Alright, so we are on the board, as it were, and I'm hunting some QPs. I need to win this 8-man. Might have to call in reinforcements with the puppy. We'll see. But that was a pretty good match. I think it showcased like the deck pretty nicely, like the sideboard plan and everything. So yeah, let's keep that rolling.